Testing. We are now live. Welcome everybody. My name is Brandon Ivy. I am a global with Shopping Sherlock, and today we have a special interview that we are conducting with one of the top money earners in the industry in lifetime money earnings for network marketing. And I got to tell you guys, this is something that's a rare event. I've been in network marketing for 16 years. I got started right out of college, and one of the things that my mentors always taught me is that if you want to have success, one of the things that you want to do is find somebody who has already had the success you desire and copy and duplicate them. And I've done that, and I've been privileged to have a lot of good mentors, but for the first time I'm actually in a company where we don't have just a top earner in the company. We have one of the most successful network marketers in the history of network marketing. So it is my honor and my privilege to welcome today. We have from the UK Simon Brookes on the line, as well as his son, who's also going to be, and I'm calling it now, one of the greatest networkers in the world in his career is going to be Fraser Brookes. So we have both of them on as guests, and I thank both of them for taking time out of their schedule for being here. I'm in Los Angeles, California, so it is 10 a.m. my time, but they are in the UK, which is 5 p.m. their time. And I love technology that we're able to even do this. You know, you couldn't do this 10, 15, 20 years ago. And so I wanted to welcome both Simon and Fraser. Thank you guys for being on. How are you guys both doing this morning?
Yeah, thanks ever so much for the invitation. Yeah, I'm doing awesome.
Fantastic. And Fraser, you there?
Doing great, thanks, Brandon.
Great. Well, let's go ahead and get this started. I see we have a lot of viewers that's logging on right now, and I want to be respectful of both of your times because we all have very busy schedules. But the one thing I want everybody to know that network marketing has been around for over 50 years. It's always been what people consider a plan B to their plan A of a job, of financial freedom. And in today's era, is more becoming now a plan A. So all I want to do is, first and foremost, everybody has a reason on why they decide to join our industry of network marketing. And Simon, before I ask you this question, I want everybody to know who Simon is. Simon has been in the industry for 27 years, and we're celebrating now his 27th year anniversary in network marketing. And that is strong because a lot of people quit the business after 3 to 6 months. But to be in it for 27 years, not only in 27 years, he has reached financial freedom. He has earned over $12 million in his career. He's ranked one of the top 100 top money earners, lifetime money earners in all of network marketing. And I want to really pick his brain so you guys get to see that that's where he is now, but he had to start from somewhere as well, from just like all of us. So Simon, the first question I have for you is, what made you decide to join network marketing in the first place?
Okay, well, that's an interesting question, but I will start by saying, yes, I've been involved in the profession and the industry for over 27 years. Most people last 27 hours. And if you're actually watching this video, make sure you're not one of them, because I tell you now, folks, you can make an obscene amount of money. I won't put a figure on it, but you can make a fortune with this. But let's go back 27 years ago. Well, in actual fact, we're going to go back earlier than that. We're going to go back to when I was at school. When I was at school, my careers teacher turned around and said to me, Simon, what do you want to do when you leave school? And I always thought of being lazy, but being lazy in style. So I said I wanted to be an artist. So she said, okay, that means you need O-level English, maths, and all the rest of it. I said, no, sorry, you didn't hear what I said. I wanted to be an artist. I thought if Walt Disney can do it, so can I. Because art was the only thing I was very good at. See, I never passed any school education. I never passed any exams. It was just, you know, I was just in school and I was just participating. So then she said, well, you're not going to get the qualifications, so you're going to have to go to college for further education to see if you can pass the exams for O-level math, O-level English, and everything else. I actually went to a college to see if I could pass the exams to get into the college, and I even failed those exams. So then I thought, what else can I do? So I then thought, merchant navy seems good. I could go on a cruise ship. You got all these women. You got all this phenomenal like sun, sea, beaches, and everything else. And I went to London to Whitechapel, and I had my interview, which was fine. Then I had a medical, and I failed my medical because I needed a filling in the tooth, and I had a verruca. Well, I got the filling done straight away, but I wasn't lancing anything off my body. So I then thought about it, and the verruca wouldn't move. Then I had a letter from the Merchant Navy saying, sorry, but your position's now been filled, so you can't do this. Then I spoke to one of my friends, and he said, you do realise it's not all glamour and cruise ships. You actually go on oil tankers. I thought, oh, that was a close shave. So I then got involved with a family business. The family business was involved with the supermarkets. I suppose really worldwide you'd know them as like 7-Elevens. So that's what I did. But our shops were like 2,000 square feet. We was doing quite a good trade. Anyway, at school I got fed up with all my friends turning around and saying, it'll be all right for Brooksy one day. It's all going to be his. And I thought, nah, I'm not going to do that. I went to the bank. I was about 22, 23 years old, and I said, I want to borrow enough money to buy my own shop. And the bank manager turned around and said to me, what's your goal, Simon? And I said, my real goal is to make $1 million. He said, no, it's not. I said, no, it is. It's to make $1 million. He said, no. He said, when you make $1 million, he said, you'll want to make 2 million, and then 4 million, and so on and so on and so on. And I looked at him, I thought, that's interesting. So anyway, he lent me money, and I bought my first shop. And the idea was to buy it from nothing, build it up, create a lot of goodwill, sell it on, and then buy another one. And I thought to myself, well, I can be like Safeways or whatever. We actually called the shops Brookways. So we thought, if they can do it, so can we. But it was a nightmare selling the business and having to come up with an excuse. So then I went on holiday, met my darling wife, and moved up to the northwest, which is like the other end of the country. And I responded to one of these newspaper advertisements. I had no income. I had nothing. So I thought, what am I going to do? So I got a newspaper, a national newspaper, and it got to business. I drive an Aston Martin. I make millions. MLM. So I thought, what's MLM? So I picked up that, and will never forget, Brandon, it was on a Sunday, picked up the phone and spoke to this individual. Now, the first 3 phone calls were answer phones. So what did we do 27 years ago with an answer phone? We put the phone straight down. Then the 4th phone call, the guy picked the phone up. And I had a conversation with him. I said, but before you go any more, before you tell me what the opportunity is all about, what does MLM mean? Make lots of money, make love monthly? I don't understand. I've never heard of the concept of MLM. He said it's where you can build an organization of people selling a product and you earn a profit from what they sell. I said, oh, right. What's the product? And he said, alternative designer fragrances. I said, excuse me? He said, copy perfume. I said, whoa, no way. That's not for me. That's a feminine deal. That's not for me. He said, Simon, is it the idea of selling perfume that doesn't excite you, or the idea of making an extra 20,000 a year? Now, guys, 27 years ago, 20,000 was a lot of money. 20,000 is a lot of money now, but 27 years ago, it was a fortune. So I said to him, to be honest with you, it's the idea of selling perfume. So he said, if I could show you a way of making that 20,000 without touching the product, you'd be interested, wouldn't you? I said, yep. He said, great. It's going to cost you £25 to get started. I suppose you pay everything by credit card, don't you? I said, yep. He said, great, I can take that. So I went across to my bedroom, got my credit card, parted with my £25, and I got through a perfume kit 24 hours later. Cannot believe it. And I did perfume party after perfume party after perfume party to build an income because I was desperate. I needed to make money the fastest way possible. But I tell you now, folks, it's the only time you'll ever be able to come home stinking of perfume and the wife said you had a good night, dear. It was great fun. You know, I was doing the presentation. I said, okay, you got 4 body positions. You got here, 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 and here. When you run out of positions, see me in the kitchen. I had so much fun. But it was great, and I made a chunk of money. But then, you know, the perfume business, the company, didn't do too well. So then I got involved in health and nutrition 18 years ago. And that was predominantly because I had a friend of mine that was in that perfume opportunity who turned around and said to me, Simon, this company is going to be a major company. And it's all to do with selling diet cakes and cookies. I said, what? He said, diet cakes and cookies. I said, I'm sorry, that's not for me. That's never going to work. He said, do yourself a favor. When you go out to your town or your village, have a look to see if you can see the market. So I went out and I had a look and I came straight back and I said, okay, tell me more. I said, okay, it's where you eat cake and you lose weight. And to be honest with you, Brandon, they were like hockey pucks. They were horrendous. But then, literally 6 months after that company had launched, they launched a new product, which was a juice product, where people drank an ounce a day, and they drank that every single day. But I built an organization of over 156,000 distributors to 34 countries. To date, you're right, you quite rightly said, I've made over 12 million in the profession, and it's been a phenomenal journey. But I've had my ups and downs. But let me tell you why I stuck in the business. When I was involved in the perfume business, with that company, you had to get to a certain level before you became a direct distributor. So then that would mean you would be buying direct to company at the highest discount. And I had this lady who turned around and said, oh, I'm saving all my orders up, I'm getting loads of orders, and I'm going to give them all to you so I can get at the highest discount. I said, okay, but you need to give them to me because, you know, time's running out. And it was on a monthly basis. Anyway, in those days, we was 3 days towards the end of the month. And she said, okay, Simon, I've got all my orders. Let's get together. We'll meet up. She said, I'll come over. She came over. She wrote me a check, and I ordered the product, and the product went direct to her. Banked her check, and it bounced from here to Kingdom Come. So I lost, I'll tell you how much I lost, £1,874, 23p. I remember the amount vividly. And every single day, I traveled half an hour to go to her house to ask for either the product back or the money. And then I found out that somebody said she'd moved to a different country. And I said to my wife, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick with this business. I'm going to stick with the industry until I make that money back. When I make that money back, I'm going to give it up. And do you know something, Brandon? I made so much more money. It was crazy. But I didn't quit. And I kept doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. And I reached higher levels and higher levels and higher income. And it was phenomenal. But then I got out of the perfume business and got involved with the health and nutrition industry. And that was I was with that company for 18 years. But again, with that company, people used to say to me, I don't like the price, I don't like the taste, I don't like the look, I don't like the size, I don't like the shape. You had to buy product, stick it in your garage, hawk it around to your friends and family to see if they're going to be interested. So you had rejection after rejection after rejection after rejection. And I tell you now, it was a nightmare.
Well, I want to say something because you brought up something very important. You talked about ups and downs, and everybody in network marketing goes through ups and downs. What do you think it was that kept you or separated you from everyone else that you were in business with at the time, who probably quit and left the industry because they had a couple of bumps in the roads, and you pushed forward anyway? What was it that made you keep going forward?
In all honesty, It was the quantity of people that told me it was never going to work. I'm one of these people that say, don't you ever say that to me, because guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to prove you wrong. And do you know, Brandon, that's what I do. I love a challenge. I love to prove people wrong. You turn around and say it's never going to work, I'm going to make sure it does work, and I'm going to prove you wrong.
Now, did you have any mentors at the time when you first got started that were able to kind of teach you the ropes and show you a couple of things to do and show you the system to follow? Or where you basically said, you know, I'm going to figure this out, trial and error, and I'm not going to quit until I succeed?
Okay, I figured that out, and it was trial and error. But one thing I noticed, that I attended every single event I could do. Because I learned real quick, the more events you attend, the more information. I knew if I traveled 3 hours to go to an event, if I could come away with one nugget that I can put into action, that I can get a result, then that's going to benefit my business. So it was like I was just learning. But whenever I went to an event, I never really looked at the speaker. I looked at the audience on their reaction to the speaker. I wanted to see what people gained from what the content the person was speaking. So I could hear what they're saying, but I wasn't really interested in watching them. I was watching the audience. But every time I went to an event, I always roughly counted how many people was in the room and how many people of my team were in the room. And I always turned around and said, yeah, okay, I've got 16% today. Next time we have an event, I need to make sure I've got more than 16%. That's the only way I knew that I was growing as fast, or if not faster, than anybody else. So.
Well, that's absolutely fantastic, and you've proven that obviously the system that you've learned has worked, and you've stuck this out. Well, what do you think after 27 years is the highlight? What are the highlights that you pick over the years for your career?
Oh, that's a fascinating subject. I suppose really it's the friendships I've made and the countries I've traveled to. We've had some amazing times. The countries, the trips. I mean, I've always been a full-time father. You know, I've got 2 sons. I've got a daughter. You know, to be at school and to pick them up after they've finished their education every single day is amazing. And to always go on holiday with your family. You know, we used to go skiing in Whistler every single year. It's like we go to the, whether it be to the Caribbean, or we might go to the Maldives, or it might be Mauritius, or, you know, any exotic place. We love to travel, absolutely love to travel. But it's like, what's been the highlights? Seeing other people that you've taken under your wing and you've got them to success. I love helping people to actually make a fortune. A lot of people are scared, and a lot of people turn around and say, oh, Simon, you're just money, 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 money driven. Well, I tell you now, there's more heartache, more grief, more pain, more poverty, more violence through lack of money than excess. It's not how much you have and how much you get. People say to me, oh, Simon, you know, life isn't all about money. Well, I tell you now, folks, you know, you can't get very far without a lot of money. Plus the fact my wife has got a black belt in shopping, so I've got to make a lot of money. It's like, you know, I think you can have so much more fun with a lot of money than being poor. I've been poor in my life, and it wasn't nice. I didn't like it. So I've said to myself, I'm never going to be poor again.
Well, that's an interesting statement. You say your wife has a black belt in shopping. Well, I want to ask you this question because I know you've gotten this a lot. I've heard this over the years many times. What would you say to the person that, you know, they get started, they're passionate about it, they like the product, they're excited, they start talking to people, 6 months, maybe even a year goes by, they haven't had much success, and they're getting pressure from their family and friends and saying, oh, you need to go do something else, it's time for you to quit and give up. What would you say to that person?
I always used to say, folks, you've got to hang around the flagpole. But no, that's not what you got to do. Hanging around a flagpole will never, ever make you a dime. What you've got to do is hang around a flagpole, but you've got to dance. You have to put some activity and action in. Because at the end of the day, if you just look and think to yourself it's going to be Hillary and Herman, hope it happens, it's never going to happen. You've got to do something. But here's the difference. This is what people don't understand that they have to do. One of the most important ingredients is every single person, when they first join, and this is what I teach my personally sponsored people, is teach yourself how to package your story. People say, what do you mean, package my story? You need to tell people the reason why you joined. To give you an example, it might be a carpet fitter. And he might turn around and say, hey, Mary, I've decided to get involved in this business. I've got involved on a part-time basis. I'm going to look to go full-time. You know I've been a full-time carpet fitter, but I put the Stanley knife through my wrist and I lost all my income. So I needed to make sure I got a plan B. Now you've got a story. You've got a reason. You have to package the reason. I know my story for why I've joined Shopping Sherlock is so strong. I know I don't care whoever someone is, no matter how much they're making, they can never knock me off track. They can never knock me sideways to say that's never going to work. You're wasting your time. I think you're crazy. Because I know it's going to work. I know emphatically it's going to work. Because going back about 2 or 3 years ago, I had a phone call from a friend of mine in North America who said to me, Simon, I know you've been involved in $1 billion industry, which is health and nutrition, and I know you've made millions and millions and millions out of the profession, but would you be open to looking at $1 trillion industry? And I said 3 words. I said, tell me more. He said, okay, have you ever heard of Google? I said, don't be silly. Everybody's heard of Google. He said, okay. Well, Google in 1996 used to get over 10,000 searches a day on their site. I said, right. And today, that's now over 3.5 billion. He said, do you think it's a little bit of growth? I said, yep. He said, would you like to earn from that growth? I said, 1 word. I said, how? He said, everybody buys a license. I said, right, what's the license do? He said, it's an intelligent shopping application. 97% of the population, before they buy anything, compare the price first. And when they do so, using your license, you earn usage income. I said, what? That's a license to print money. I tell you now, it took me exactly about 3.5 seconds to make my decision to say I'm in. I said, that is a license to print money. I tell you now, to get involved in an opportunity to give away a free product and actually earn money from people benefiting from that product, Brandon, you cannot be that business model. I don't care what company people are in. Now, if people are involved in, whether it be a health and nutrition company, whether it be a fuel saver, whether it be jewelry, whether it be health and nutrition, no matter what product it is, I tell you now, I've been in these companies, and these companies, they turn around and say, okay, you've got to buy a selection of product because you've got to share it with people. Well, guess what? The distributor has to pay for that. We don't, when we share our product with people, that costs our distributorship nothing. We can tell people what the site is and what the invite code is. It costs nothing for that. And I tell you now, everybody wants to save time and money. But we've got so many other fantastic features on our product with daily deals and everything else. It is amazing. And the more people that see it, the more people that get it, the more people that understand it, we don't get any rejection. We don't get any objection. People want to be one of the first involved in an e-commerce, which is growing at around about 20-21% per year, and that's in a $1.3 trillion market. You tell me, there's no company that can hold a candle to us. But anyway.
Well, that actually leads into my next question I was going to ask you, because somebody like yourself, to have the success that you've had, you don't go under the radar in our industry. And it's a very short list of people once you reach the top. Everybody knows everybody, so your value is very high. And there's many, many companies, CEOs, and owners that would love to have somebody like you and your expertise on their team, whether it's from a corporate standpoint or a field or a master distributor. even to the point where they would offer you a lot of money just for your experience to be in your name to be a part of their company. And you chose Shopping Sherlock, and you shared with us a little bit of reasons why. But I got to say, when I first heard of Sherlock over a year ago, the first video I ever saw was your video, where you explained exactly what you did right now. You talked about the changing of the economy, the changing of the society, how technology is rapidly growing, how Google and YouTube and these companies became multi-billion-dollar companies, and they give away the product for free. And I started to do my own research. I was ignorant to the fact of what e-commerce was, the fastest growing industry on the planet, the second industrial revolution, the modern day gold rush. And this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I want you to let everybody know, where do you see, not only the industry of e-commerce, but being a pioneer with Shopping Sherlock, where do you see this company going in our future over the next 5 to 10 years?
Okay. It's a really easy question to understand. Firstly, what I will say to you is that me and technology don't get on. I know about how to turn a computer on, that's me done. Fortunately, I surround myself with very, very knowledgeable people that are so far better than me at explaining how it all works. My son is amazing. He's 26 years old and everything else. But the main reason that excites me the most about Shopping Sherlock is the CEO and owner of the company, a gentleman called Michael Weeder. This guy has been in the internet space since 1994. He is the right captain at the helm of the ship. See, at the end of the day, you do not want to be on a ship without a rudder. You do not want to be on a ship without the right captain, with somebody that doesn't know where they're going to be going to. They don't know what harbour to sail into. You need to be with the right company that knows where they're going. And the owner has said many, many times that he will be making Shopping Sherlock $1 billion company. And I tell you now, if you could imagine, the way I look at it is go back, say 10.5 years ago, when Facebook first launched. No, I know it's not a business opportunity, because that's where people that have got 100, 200 friends or whatever are helping Facebook to build their platform for free for them. But imagine all the people that bought shares and stock in those companies. They're multi-millionaires now. Well, people in Shopping Sherlock are going to be in the same situation. We've got a rank in our business where when you get to global, you actually earn equity as an affiliate, as a distributor. So that means you own part of the company. So on that basis, when the company makes millions and millions and millions and millions, and you start getting stock, you start getting shares, you start getting the equity payout, tell you that's going to amount to big, big money. But the main reason why it floats my boat, the main reason why I'm so excited, because I get pitched week after week after week after week from different people on different opportunities. Companies offer me hundreds and hundreds of thousands to join the company. And do you know something? I look at their products and they do not float my boat. It's like, you've got to look. It's not what's in it for me. It's not a question if that company is going to offer me £1 million to join their company. That's great. But then what happens the day after? What happens with the organization? Your organization has got to be making an income. I know with Shopping Sherlock, it's my home for the next 20 years. See, I'm not a multi-level butterfly. And I don't think anyone that wants to make and can make any money can flip from opportunity to opportunity to opportunity. That's not the way you make money in our profession. The way you make money is you get involved with a company, you get all in. Not just dip your toe in the water and just see how it goes and last for those 72 hours. No. Or, sorry, 27 hours. It's like get in and stay in. But if someone says no to you, then you need to go upline, 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 upline to find the reason or to find the answer on what you say to those individuals when they say no to you. I would pride myself that I've got an answer for any and every objection anyone has. And people know they're watching this and they say, do you know something? I've been to his trainings. I've been to his events. I've been to his Super Sundays. I've been and seen him answer the objections, especially live. You can't get through my net. My net is so sealed up. When you're in, you're in. There's no way out. But anyway, next question.
Well, I'll tell you, I had the privilege of meeting you in Las Vegas this past February at our international convention, and I just love your spirit. I love your swag, with what the young kids would say, how you carry yourself, and your professionalism. But one thing that I did notice is that you are very humble and down to earth for someone who has had the success that you've had. That you're approachable, that anybody can approach you and have a conversation, and you're willing to share, your knowledge with them, and you're also very big on family. And you have your family with you all the time. You're doing it for your family, and you have your son, 26-year-old Fraser Brookes, who's also a global wood shopping Sherlock. He's having a lot of success in the company. He's far, far ahead of where I was in this industry when I was 26 years old. Tell us about, how proud you are of Fraser and where you see things happening with him, and what it's like to work father and son together in the same business and the same opportunity.
Okay, well, Fraser is 26. I joined the profession when I was 28. Now, when I was 28, I was never anywhere close to what Fraser is now. I mean, Fraser's been in the profession 2 years. Brandon, you've obviously worked with Fraser. He is absolutely amazing. I mean, even the owner and our CEO of the company rates Fraser as one of the main reasons that we are where we are. But yeah, I learned very, very quickly that there's some of these very, very, very big companies that do billions and billions and billions a year. All the top ranking people, they put in ivory towers. And people had to get to a certain rank and a certain position before they could have a conversation with those people. And my wife and I used to look at each other and go, yuck, we never want that. I would never want a prospect or a new distributor coming up to me at an event and me just turning them away and say, I'm sorry, I've not got time to talk to you. Wait until you get to a certain rank, then we'll have a conversation. No! Don't ever do that. That is so unfair, and that's just not fair to the right person. But regarding Fraser, I tell you now, what people don't realize is this guy, not only is he my best distributor, but he's my best friend. And I tell you now, Brandon, for me, I find it very, very easy to sing from the rooftop and sing his praises, because the kid, 26 years old, he is amazing, absolutely amazing. What he knows, how he helps me and everything else is staggering. I'm so privileged that he's in my life. I really am. And my wife and I, we're so proud of him. We are so, so proud of him. He's absolutely brilliant. But yeah, to actually work the program and to actually give him the vision and him the foresight that this is the way. It was funny because going back about a month ago, I actually said to him, we was sat over the dinner table, and I said to him, I said, Fraser, I said, are you pleased genuinely that you're involved in the profession? And he turned around and said, Dad, I'd rather never be any other way. I've got so many of my friends that have got jobs and other professions. Give me network marketing any day. And I was so proud. I was just really, really proud.
Well, that's fantastic. And this last question is actually for Fraser himself. Fraser, it's rare that you're in a position, or anybody's in a position, not only to have access to someone like Mr. Fraser, Simon Brookes, but for him to be your dad as well. You grew up in the industry, you saw it from ground up, and that gives you a really leg up on most people who just get started for the first time. What do you feel? I know sometimes it's hard to separate, he's my dad, but he's also Simon Brookes. So what do you see as, or you think is the most that you've learned from Simon, and how has he helped you in your business and your development?
Well, it's funny, Brandon. I actually didn't know what he did properly until I joined the business. So for 25 of his 27 years, I didn't I didn't join MLM. I didn't know what MLM was, didn't know what network marketing was, didn't know my dad's story, didn't know what he'd made, didn't know anything. My dad's not the kind of person to be like, oh, Fraser, you'll never guess what, we've just made 100,000 this month. He was never like that. He actually told me when I was 18, when I hit 18, about his previous company that I should get involved, and he told it to do with diet cookies and a herbal blend nutrition and beverage, and I was like, no. And he said, he did the whole, you know, is it the idea of the product that doesn't like you, or is it the idea, or is it the idea of making money? And I said, Dad, I'm just not doing anything involved in a health and nutritional company. I'm 18. All my friends don't care about health and nutrition. They all just want to go out and have a good time and, you know, abuse their bodies, sort of thing. So I've learned so much just from the conversations, and even being in a room away from my dad. Like right now, I'm like 20 yards away from my dad now. And I'm always, every single call he's on, I'm always hearing what he says. Now, although I'm not learning it like written down all the time, I believe, and I seriously believe this, from a young age, I've subconsciously learned it. And I have a feeling that that's kind of how audio tapes or books work. You know, the more information that comes through, the more it kind of gives you out. But I'm just written a few notes here, so I hope we have the time. But the few things I've known is just don't listen to the doubters and the haters. Never, ever, ever quit, especially when it's going tough. Dad always tells me, he says, the number of people that quit before payday is just ridiculous. And he said it's easier to give up than succeed. He actually said to me a long time ago, saying, Fraser, if you're hanging off the edge of a cliff, is it easier to get up and survive or just let go? And I was like, probably let go. He said, well, if you got yourself up and survived, you have a life to live. So there's always something. If you go through the hard times, there's always something to kind of, you reap the benefits. Also, he always told me to set the goals high. Never be like, oh, I want to make $10,000 extra a year. Always be like, I want to make $10 million extra a year. Even if it sounds ridiculous, get in the mindset that it is possible, that it will come. Also, this is very obvious to the people that know my dad, but always keep the message the same. Just don't change the message, change the audience, and get in the repetitive mindset of just keep saying the same thing until you find the right people. And it's funny because you can literally, after you've heard my dad a number of times, you can literally take his invite or his pitch, like literally word for word for word for word as well. So he always says practice makes permanent, not practice makes perfect. So obviously you need to be saying the right things for it to work. Then I've been making notes on this little small pencil. It's actually really, really small, because he says to me that having a small pencil or a short pencil is better than a long memory. So I've actually made more notes in 2 years in this business than I did in 25 years in education. And I fully believe that earning whilst you're learning in this industry is far more powerful than spending 20 years at school to learn to get a degree. I mean, I've got a degree, but I actually tell people not to go out and get a degree. Now, fair enough, you can go get a degree, fair enough, but you need to be doing this as well, because you'll get far more benefits personally in this industry than you would in education. The next thing's about the product. Now, the reason I actually said yes to this business wasn't because of the earning potential. It's because I saw the power of the product, and that anyone, no matter the race, the sex, the age, the culture, anyone wants this product and they get it. The fact you give it away for free, everyone's giving things away for free now. The fact that people are going online to compare, everyone's doing that now. And people say to me now, what's it like to be involved in an online business? That's so cool. I said, guys, as of 5 weeks ago, I'm not involved in an online business anymore. I'm involved in a mobile business. So that's even more exciting. The company's just growing and growing and growing. Obviously, we have people like you and my dad involved in the company. We also have Michael Weeder and Thomas Bang involved in the company. The guys are just, it's just incredible. I feel so privileged to be in at the start. One thing I will say before I leave is talking about the whole don't quit. Dad told me that in the previous company there was a meeting he went to, and there was 10,000 people at the meeting. It was a huge meeting, and it was basically the joining meeting. So everyone joined at the start. 10,000 people joined day one. 9,999 people quit. The only person that didn't quit was my dad because, and he can tell you this, he didn't know how to. He didn't know how to officially quit. And he didn't want to. He's not a quitter. I've never seen my dad quit at anything, to be honest. Even in this golf game, he's really bad at golf, but he's never quit. Because he's always said, I'm going to get better, I'm going to get better, I'm going to get better. So, and that decision he made there has not changed his life. It's changed my life as well. Because, I wouldn't be in the industry if it wasn't for him. So, yeah, thank you very much for that, and thank you very much, Brandon, for having me on.
Well, that's a fantastic story, and looking at you guys, it makes me real proud. I have a 7-year-old and a 15-year-old son, and my 7-year-old, when he goes to school and they ask, what do your parents do for a living, he really can't explain it. He says, my dad's a bum. He sits on the couch all day. And, this industry has afforded me the ability to work full-time from home. That's the first step, and so be able to have that time to be with your children more than if you had a 9-to-5 job and you missed all of their events. I'm able to see all of my kids' events, participate in everything. That's a blessing of our industry. And it's an honor to have both of you gentlemen on for me to be able to do this interview because I learn a lot. I'm like a sponge, and there's a lot of people that's watching this presentation that have started their business and they haven't had much success. Some have had success but haven't reached the next level. And I wanted them to be able to see and hear from individuals who have made it happen. It's a simple process. It's not easy, but it's simple. And as an income disclosure, I will state that all income implied or stated through this interview is not typical or guaranteed. However, if you put in the work, you put in the time, there's no limit to how much money you can make, not just in our business, but in any business for that matter. Anything that you do that is based on your own work and your own work ethics. And the one thing that I love about our company is that we do pay out 68% on every dollar. We allow the average person who has never had network marketing experience, never had a huge organization or a team, that they can come in, follow the system, give away our technology, our mobile app for free, earn an income, and build a team of individuals worldwide to do the same. But this is a marathon and not a sprint. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme or scam. The network marketing is not a lottery ticket. You're going to have to put your head down, go to work, find something that you can be passionate about, do what Simon said, never quit, never give up, no matter what your results are. It will take time, but at the end, if you end up having a situation where you're in the industry for 27 years and you've had all the financial freedom, I think is worth more than spending 40 years on your job knowing that you're going to retire broke, depending on family, government, and friends. So I'd like to say thank you to both Simon and Fraser. And Simon, is there any parting words you want to give before I close this out to anybody?
Yeah, there's one thing I do want to say is that I used to say this is a winning lottery. I'm going to give you the ticket, but you can't spend it for the first 5 years. But if you build it and build it, it's worth spending at the end of 5 years. So people say to me, oh, it's not one of those get-rich-quick things, is it? Well, I don't know many people that want to get rich slow. This is as get-rich-quick as you want it to. Now, some people it happens in a matter of days, some people months, some people years, some people decades. But I tell you now, if you can break the pattern of retiring either dead or dead broke, you've beaten the system and you have got rich quick. If you can do it before you die, you've beaten the system and you've done it. You got rich quick. But don't get confused. Do not think you're going to be making millions and millions in your first year, because no, that will not happen. Can you make a fair chunk of money in your first year? Yeah. But you see, I don't know your work ethic. I don't know how hard and how fast you can work. I mean, when I first joined Shopping Sherlock, I didn't sleep for the first 4 days. I was too excited. It was amazing. And funny thing is now, I still work this 24/7. I'm as excited today as I was when I first joined. It is amazing. Brandon, thanks ever so much for the privilege of sharing this interview with you, and I'll catch you later.
Well, Simon, real quick, you have an event coming up, because I know a lot of people would love to meet you. You have a leadership event coming up in January. I know Michael Weeder is flying out to the UK. Is there any current event coming up that you want to go ahead and talk about and promote, where people can come out and meet you and learn from you one-on-one?
Yep, we've got a couple of events. We've got our Super Sunday, which is on the 16th of November. That's in about just over 2 weeks' time. That's going to be in London. So speak to your upline or send me a message and I will let you know where it's going to be. That's in London. And then our leadership weekend is going to be on the 24th and 25th of January. The benefit of the venue of the leadership weekend, it's literally a 20-minute cab ride from the airport. So let's assume you live in Europe and you want to get a flight over. Then you literally get in the cab and you get to the venue. The event will be amazing. We'll have fun, you'll be having some serious training, but we will have a party and we'll have a celebration that you will not believe. One thing I do, I abuse the word fun. I live life by two philosophies. Number one, I never want to act my age. Number two, I never want to grow up. I tell you now, this life is for living. Don't be one of these people that you caught under a stone and you hide from the rest of your life. Wake up. You need to get involved. You need to make the best you can of your life. And I tell you now, Brandon, this is a phenomenal journey. This is a phenomenal opportunity. Back to you.
Thank you, Simon. And Fraser, can you share with us, we have an international convention coming up. We're taking a cruise in March. Where Simon's going to be? Could you share with us about the international convention coming up?
Yeah, it's just phenomenal, this company, you know. I mean, already this company has taken me around the world to places like Russia, Italy, Denmark, Sweden, all over the UK, Africa. I've been to places like Atlanta, Florida, Las Vegas, and a dream of mine is always to be able to go to the Caribbean and to go to Miami. And this March, from the 21st to the 26th of March, which is actually 2 days before my birthday. Birthday's on the 28th of March. We're actually going on a cruise leaving from Miami, 5-star cruise leaving from Miami and going to Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. So imagine going on a cruise with like 300 plus people that are all the same sort of mindset as you, all want the same things, all working together, like a 300 plus family, all on a cruise together. Just imagine the good times we're going to have. And so you can even go on the website, shoppingsherlock.com. There's information about that at the bottom if you click convention at sea. But it's just, when have you ever had a business meeting at sea on a 5-star cruise ship? It's just amazing. You can see I'm excited about it. So, you know, I can't wait. Can't wait. It's amazing.
Well, thank you, Fraser and Simon. I look forward to seeing both of you guys on the cruise. So does my wife. She's excited about the cruise as well. And we are having a local event here in Los Angeles. On November 8th, we're going to be having a meeting in Fullerton, California with the CEO, Mr. Michael Weeder, a meet and greet. So if you know anybody in the Los Angeles area, get with your upline. We'll get you that information. And those of you that might be a guest that's looking at this for the first time, we are having a Sherlock International presentation 2 hours from now at 8 p.m. UK time. That's 4 p.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. LA time, my time. Yeah, about 2 hours from now. So it's going to be on liveonedream.info. You can see a full presentation of Sherlock, see what it is that we're talking about, why we're so excited, and why an individual like Simon Brookes, who is our first $1 million earner at the Sherlock, has decided to join and lead and pioneer our company into the future. So thank you guys for joining us. We will get this recording out to those who missed it. Again, thank you, Simon and Fraser, for your time. This was an honor for me to do this, and I look forward to working with you guys over the next 10, 20 years with this company. God bless everybody. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Cheers, Brandon. Appreciate it.
Cheers, Brandon.